that like it's a thought experiment. And I think this is something that Chad, you and I do a good job of. You could entertain a thought without having to accept that thought.
Devil's advocate sort of stuff.
Totally.
Yep.
Like it doesn't make you 100% agree or disagree, but the willingness to look at from a different perspective besides your own is something that in our political world, in our social world, in our world in general, it seems like people are becoming more and more divisive about.
Oh, definitely. And the thing is, I think you learn that in college. Largely, we learn that in college. And a lot of these politicians, they know how to do that. But that's not what's going to get them attention. People aren't going to sit there and listen to people have an intellectual discussion. Hopefully people will want to listen to us, and people do listen to intellectual discussion, but not on the mass scale that politicians need, where I need millions of people to watch me. So I'm going to sit here pointing fingers and blaming people because that's what's going to get people to pay attention to me. Not, oh, let's talk about the subjects, but like you are bad at your job. You need to stop doing this. You need to start doing that. Where's that going to get you? Nowhere, except for elected. And then you get in office, and you got to keep doing that stuff, and it's just.
And then you're fundraising already. Like the first 6 months you're in office, you're spending a third of your time fundraising to raise capital to pay for your next election. And then we have this cycle where the people who are politicians are only looking for short-run solutions. Yep. And I grew up very liberal because I have liberal values. I believe everyone should be treated equal. I believe that men, women, race, religion, creed, sexuality, like I still see you as a human being. I don't care about any of your stuff. You do whatever you want to do. Like if it doesn't affect my life, more power to you. I love you. And that's just how it is. Yet in my political views, I've leaned a lot more libertarian, which is accepting of others, but also limited government. And that's an area where I disagree with a lot of people. Like I'm in the yoga community. I volunteer like a nonprofit and a food shelf. And a lot of people there are very, very liberal. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not disagreeing. But I think they get caught up in the idea of what the end effect is versus what the end effect actually is.
Yep.
And that's a huge area of struggle for me is like, I believe every single human in the world has a right to go to college, has a right for healthcare, affordable healthcare. They have a right for it, but that doesn't mean that they all end up with the same care. Definitely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I think when you're an intellectual, you see things as, okay, this makes sense. I wish things would be this way. I think the unfortunate thing is a lot of people in this world don't make sense. They make decisions off of emotion. They make decisions. And that's not necessarily a criticism. I wish I was more like that sometimes. I wish that I could just go with the flow, without thinking and analyzing. But the thing is, it takes all sorts in the world. And unfortunately, communism is an awesome idea. Let's all get the same thing. Let's all be equal. But unfortunately, what happens is somebody rises to the top and starts controlling all those people, and until we can find a way to make sure that doesn't happen, communism won't work, and capitalism is kind of getting to the point where like that's and so some awesome ideas that I wish that would work better,
Well, part of it's the education system. Right now, if you interview people mostly across colleges, I think 30 to 40% of college students, and I'm guesstimating on this number, but it's around there, they relate to the idea of socialism. And if you think about socialism from an end standpoint, it basically is everything's provided by the government. Everyone theoretically chips in, and wealth is divided from the people who make a lot of wealth to the people who make less wealth, and it's split as like by taxes. This is how they want to control it. Yep. What they don't show you is the lifestyles of the people who are actually making the rules are significantly better than the lifestyles of the people that they want to have equal.
Yep.
So there's a hypocrisy between those two things, and like socialism's failed. There are many examples. Maoist China, we can start with. Venezuela currently right now is hyperinflation of over 1,000,000% a year. Most people don't even know what that is, but that's another economics terms.
Yeah.
But the point is we've lost truth. America is different than every country in the world, not because we're smarter, not because we're hardworking, not because we're better, because we were founded on a set of principles